Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH the Flame Emperor episode number 17 based on novel. So let's start. The figure walking out from the depths of the stone room was impressively composed of sections of jade white bones. The thin body of the skeleton stands in the stone room. The original jade white body, after absorbing the blood essence, becomes even whiter, and the whole body exudes a thick blood mist, which has turned into a scarlet color, which looks to people. A very strong feeling. In the eye sockets of the skeleton, two faint red lights flickered slightly. Then the two of them saw that the blood that had just merged into the skeleton seemed to recondense on the chest of the Emperor's skeleton, where there were a few drops of blood-red blood beating, and the blood-red color exuded unparalleled power. It should be the same as the machine, powered by blood as the core, so that the skeleton can be resurrected for a short time, thus protecting the blood of the Emperor. But as long as the skeleton can be controlled or the blood can be captured, then the skeleton will not be attack yourself. Su Shuiying also moved her beautiful eyes slightly, so she found something the same. It's really not that easy to get good things. Xiao Yan cursed loudly, as if he knew just from his perception that the skeleton's current strength was much stronger than that of the 4-star Do, let alone defeated. When the hoarse and ancient voice of the skeleton slowly fell, the expressions of the two standing outside the stone room also changed slightly. It seems that today, if you don't defeat this Emperor's skeleton, you will not be able to leave smoothly, let alone take it to the blood of the Emperor. Moreover, Xiao Yang heard from his master, the Golden Dragon King, that the blood essence of a strong man who is comparable to the peak of the 7-star Do Emperor is very useful, and this jade white skeleton is also used for other purposes, but the Golden Dragon King only mentioned it briefly. There is no more text. But don't panic, there is a trace of soul imprint left by the strong man in this skeleton. Even if it is activated by the power of blood essence, it is not a real 7-star Do Emperor strong man. It is not impossible, but the premise is that we must join forces, otherwise, if it is defeated by each of them, it is very likely that the entire army will be wiped out. Xiao Yang said solemnly. Hearing what he said, Su Shuiying also agreed very much. If there was no such strength in the ruins, then she would not be afraid of this skeleton, but now, where's your fire elf? Summon it and I can solve this skeleton in 3 minutes. Su Shuiying stepped on the green lotus, and the blue holy flames surrounded her. She was obviously doing something. It just fell into a deep sleep. Xiao Yang also frowned. Damn, it's too much trouble now, give me 5 minutes. Su Shui also shrank her eyes, and then bit her lips lightly, and blue flames emerged. Su Shuiying looked and saw that the blood-red color on the surface of the Emperor's skeleton was getting darker and darker, and the blood-red blood essence within it was constantly exuding majestic power, and it was also rapidly moving on her body. All parts flooded. Xiao Yang and Su Shuiying also saw the same place. Go ahead, you can't wait any longer, otherwise, when the blood spreads more and more, the strength of this skeleton will also increase. Xiao Yang shouted loudly. As soon as the voice fell, Su Shuiying already understood that time could not allow them to delay any longer. Kingliantai slowly summoned out, and the power of Cyan Holy Flame instantly covered her whole body. As soon as the Holy Flame came out, the ***** aura that filled the air was also eliminated a lot. The power of the Holy Flame really lived up to its reputation. Xiao Yang couldn't take care of that much either, his figure turned into a blurred shadow, and swept toward the jade-colored skeleton in the stone chamber like lightning. The vast milky white battle chi, like a volcano, surged out of his body overwhelmingly. This kind of power made the precious medicinal materials in the hall become wilted in an instant. Seeing how powerful Xiao Yang was when he made a move, Su Shuiying was also very surprised at how sensitive Xiao Yang was. Creak. The red light in the eyes of the jade-colored skeleton danced, looking at the black shadow that was swept by the vast fighting spirit, the upper and lower teeth gnawed slightly, and then took a step. The dark red skeleton palm was directly facing Xiao Yang and grabbed it. Bang! The speed of the skeleton was extremely terrifying. Just as his palm was raised, the space in front of him was torn apart by him, his arm penetrated into the shattered space, and when he reappeared, it was already in front of Xiao Yang. The terrifying speed of this jade-colored skeleton also made Xiao Yang's heart sink, his palms clenched into fists, all the fighting chi in his body condensed on his right arm at this moment, and then suddenly blasted out. A fist slammed into the palm of the skeleton, but the seemingly fragile skeleton was stronger than fine steel at this moment. Even Xiao Yang's full-strength punch only shook the skeleton back a step. And himself, he was shocked and retreated a dozen steps in a row, looking a little embarrassed. However, this Xiao Yang is not a soft-hearted person, So after stabilizing his body, he moved and shot out again, entangled with the emperor's bones again, and a fierce battle broke out. The sparks shot out, Xiao Yang's fists and feet slammed onto the bones of the emperor, and every time he hit hard, the blood on the bones became lighter, and the red glow in the skeleton's eye sockets, it is also gradually declining. Xiao Yang also found that although the strength of this jade-colored skeleton is extremely powerful, Xiao Yang's current body can't handle it, but the skeleton is still a little slow, so Xiao Yang can use his soul power very well. It captures its attack action to avoid it, so as to counterattack. Seeing the good effect of the attack, Xiao Yang's heart was also shaken, and he accelerated the attack again. At the same time, the blue flames around Su Shuiring's body also flickered violently. The silver light flashed on Xiao Yang's feet, and swept directly into the emperor's skeleton. At the same time, the blood on the rib was also shaken away. The blood on the rib was shaken away, and then it returned to jade white, like an ordinary rib. With a successful strike, Xiao Yang just wanted to retreat, but his eyes suddenly solidified on the rib that had turned into a jade white color, and there seemed to be a strange power emerging from the top of it. Boom! The rib that was attacked by Xiao Yang was actually radiating a stronger, even stronger power than before. And not only that, there was something about to explode at that rib. The power of regeneration. Damn it! Xiao Yang lost his voice when he looked at the skeleton's jade-white ribs. Looking at the battle on the field, Su Shuiring couldn't help but be a little surprised. The remains of the emperor were indeed very strong. Even under such a powerful attack as Xiao Yang, they were still defeated. This is just a residual imprint of the soul. If it is a complete emperor, how terrifying would it be? Xiao Yang also felt that it was a little difficult. Obviously, the fighting power of this skeleton made him a little horrified. Are you done? There seems to be something wrong with this emperor's skeleton. Xiao Yang also asked. 1 minute. Su Shuiring also bit her lips slightly, and there were crystal beads of sweat on her forehead above her beautiful eyes. Boom. The blood-red ribs of the skeleton suddenly burst out with a lot of dark brown aura like lava bubbles. Ferocious corpse energy. The Golden Dragon King also exclaimed at this moment. It seems that the master of this relic is a bit strange, and there should be some changes after death. Xiao Yanzi, be careful. Although this aura is not the evil aura of an alien race, it cannot be absorbed either. The Golden Dragon King hurriedly said. Road. The terrifying and ferocious corpse aura emanated from the ribs of the skeleton, forming a huge group. Although his master Jinlong King reminded him in time, Xiao Yang didn't expect the speed of this vicious corpse energy to be surprisingly fast, so he couldn't help but absorb some of it. Just as the terrifying corpse chi entered Xiao Yang's body, it was strongly blocked by Yihua, who tried to stop the corpse chi from continuing to invade, and the two confronted each other. The explosion broke out. Almost instantly, Xiao Yang's eyes turned red, and a kind of crazy killing poured out from the bottom of his heart, trying to dispel his sanity. However, Xiao Yang is determined after all. Even in this terrifying situation, he can still maintain a little clarity. He hurriedly ran Fenju, relying on the fighting spirit and the power of different fires born from Fenju to resist the evil that invaded his body. Corpse Chi, he knew that if his mind was occupied by the vicious corpse Chi at this time, I am afraid he would turn into a human-shaped puppet who only knew how to kill. Damn it! Xiao Yang roared angrily in his heart, frantically resisting the erosion of that ferocious corpse aura. He obviously didn't expect this hand to be left on the skeleton's ribs, which caught Xiao Yang off guard. And when Xiao Yang was in great calamity because of this sudden and unpredictable disaster, Su Shuiring also saw Xiao Yang, who suddenly stopped, and then saw that the latter was blood-red and trembling constantly. She was immediately shocked. Xiao Yang, what's wrong with you? Su Shuiring also asked anxiously. It is very likely that the person in front of her is the person her master said. No matter how weak or weak, Su Shuiring will definitely not let him have a crisis. What a terrible corpse chi. Su Shuiring's pretty face also changed, and she thought to herself, could it be the corpse chi emanating from the ribs before? Was the body eroded by the wicked corpse chi? Xiao Yang's body, his defense, was under the terrifying corpse aura. Almost retreating, those scarlet vicious corpse auras, unparalleled domineering, directly attacked in a destructive way, trying to erode his will in his body. This corpse energy is actually so powerful. Xiao Yang was also stubbornly resisting. Although Yihua is also ferocious, cold, and corpse aura, the corpse aura emitted by the Emperor's strength, even if it is not as good as that of the 7-star duty, will not be much weaker than this. Under the suppression of strength, the mutual resistance of attributes also became less powerful, and this was the scene of Xiao Yang's current situation. Go. And just when Xiao Yang was about to be unable to bear it any longer, a melodious roar suddenly resounded in his ears. Hearing that voice, Xiao Yang was instantly relieved. Have you finally recovered? Xiao Yang also regained some sobriety with this soft shout, and then he suddenly discovered that all the ferocious energy in his body had actually left the body and went to where Su Shuiying was. The green lotus that Su Shuiying stepped on with her jade feet seemed to be still condensing more powerful strength, and then her jade hand held a cyan bottle. The fierce corpse aura on the skeleton and Xiao Yang's body were immediately attracted by the bottle. Boom! The billowing cyan flames swept out from Su Shuiying's body like a tide at this time. The cyan collided with the scarlet fierce corpse aura, and the two sides suddenly eroded frantically. The trend of being conquered was finally eased. However, before Xiao Yang could breathe a sigh of relief, Su Shuiying's solemn voice sounded. Be careful, this corpse aura is very unusual, I'm afraid I can't resist it now. What? Xiao Yang's heart trembled, even Su Shuiying, who possessed holy flame, had such a hard time coping. What exactly is this skeleton? Xiao Yang was a little puzzled by this corpse chi. Obviously, this was the first time he had heard of this kind of thing, but no matter what it was, his condition was not good now. Boom! And as the two retreated, the vicious corpse aura that had already been subdued by Su Shuiying's jade bottle was gushing frantically from the skeleton's ribs, and then eroded towards the two of them. At the source of the vicious corpse aura it actually made a humming sound, and then turned into a black light. Directly under Xiao Yang's nervous gaze, he charged into his body with a monstrous aura. Inside the stone room, the sound of breaking wind rang out. Seeing this, Su Shuiying also swept past, and hurriedly supported Xiao Yang, whose eyes were tightly closed, and his whole body was red. Damn it! Su Shuiying also supported Xiao Yang with her jade hand, and the blue flames on the Qinglian stage with powerful powers also branched out towards Xiao Yang's body, trying to dissolve the corpse qi in his body. Just as such thoughts crossed her mind, Xiao Yang's pale face suddenly changed drastically, and he said anxiously, "Careful." Boom! A piece of training made of ferocious corpse energy, like a flash of red lightning, suddenly swept out of the skeletons in front, and blasted away at Su Shuiying as fast as lightning. Seeing the fierce attack, Xiao Yang raised the ancient ruler of eternal fire, only to see billowing milky white flames condensed into water waves swept out from the ancient ruler of eternal fire in his hand, forming a defensive wall in front of the two of them. Bang! The scarlet-red horse slammed violently on the water waves, and suddenly a powerful spiritual shock erupted. Those water waves were directly dispersed, turned into water mist, and suspended in mid-air. Then the attack emanating from the skeleton also weakened a lot after passing through the defensive wall of different fire and water waves, but it still attacked Xiao Yang and the two with a turbulent overwhelming force. Xiao Yang also hurriedly moved Su Shuiying away when he saw that the water wave defense wall could not hold up, because he also knew that if he was touched by this attack, the consequences would be disastrous. What's more, Su Shuiying can't be distracted by using the power of holy flame now, so she had to hug her and hurriedly retreat. Boom! A huge deep pit appeared in front of the two of them, and Xiao Yang looked at the jade-white skeleton carefully, and the green lotus beneath Su Shuiying's jade feet seemed to be condensing even more powerful power. Xiao Yang and the others also looked very embarrassed at this time. They looked at the skeleton in front of them with ugly expressions. There, a figure like a killing looked at them indifferently. Su Shuiying bit her red lips tightly, and nodded her head with wet eyes. At the moment of crisis just now, Xiao Yang hugged herself, quickly backed away, and then fell outside the stone room. Only then did she dodge the attack. Xiao Yang nervously looked at the skeleton in the stone chamber above the ribs that he had attacked. Since the terrifying corpse energy poured into Xiao Yang's body, he struggled violently at first, and then fell silent. He shrank to a corner of Xiao Yang's body and became quiet, and the power of Xiao Yang's strange fire also dispelled it. "No. Master, what should we do now?" Xiao Yang also hurriedly asked after seeing the skeleton stagnate temporarily, and the corpse aura returning to its body. "The corpse qi in your body has been temporarily suppressed by me, and it will not recur in a short time, but it is also a scourge to keep it like this. Let's solve it when you go out. Now let's solve the problem in front of you." The Golden Dragon King also spoke slowly. "Now I can only rely on this woman's holy flame power. I hope her grasp of holy flame is not too shallow." The Golden Dragon King also looked at the Qinglian Tai emitting a terrifying flame thoughtfully. Boom boom boom. The terrifying murderous corpse aura gushed out from the ribs of the skeleton, and then attacked Xiao Yang and Su Shuiying overwhelmingly. Damn it! Xiao Yang was also scolding. He just suffered a big loss from this vicious corpse energy, but unexpectedly it was still pouring out continuously. It seemed like a bottomless pit. Immediately, she turned to look at Su Xueying. The green lotus that her jade feet stepped on exuded an extremely hot and cold aura, and then some vague runes appeared. I only have one blow right now. If we fail, we will all. Su Xueying also had accomplished something incredible. Her breath instantly wilted. I'm the main attack. You are optimistic about the timing. Now, Xiao Yan and Su Xueying are grasshoppers on the same rope. The milky white flame of fear instantly enveloped Xiao Yang's whole body, and then he slowly removed the black heavy ruler from behind. The heavy ruler had just been removed, and Xiao Yang's aura was also rising, reaching the peak of the 3-starred OD. Facing the murderous corpse aura released by the skeleton slowly standing still, Xiao Yang also snorted coldly, and then the fighting energy all over his body mixed with the power of flames slowly poured into the eternal fire eternal ancient ruler. The original black heavy ruler was instantly transformed into colorful due to the injection of the huge flame power. Looking at it, on the colorful ruler, 23 colors complement each other, like one. Hurry up, I can't last long. Xiao Yang also said to Su Xueying who was beside him, and then looked at the menacing corpse aura with bright eyes. 3-step swimming ruler. 1 step. Seeing that the vicious corpse energy was about to reach where Xiao Yang and Su Xueying were, Xiao Yang stepped out with his left foot forcefully, and then used his full strength with both arms, roaring out from his mouth. The terrifying flame power was also poured into the Yihua Eternal Ancient Ruler when Xiao Yang shouted. The Yihua Eternal Ancient Ruler absorbed a huge amount of flame power. With a wave of corpse aura, a burst of energy with a monstrous flame attacked it. Boom boom boom. The offensive launched by Yihua Hengjiu Kai brought 100 zhong rays of light and slashed viciously at the invisible and fierce corpse aura. Bang bang bang. The flames and the evil corpse chi merged together fiercely. When the two first came into contact, the power of the flame was so powerful that the fiery corpse chi was also dispersed a lot, but the fierce corpse chi was also bursting into a monstrous atmosphere, and it was hard. The suppression of the flame training. Xiao Yang was also watching the defeat in midair, but it was not surprising that the power of the Emperor's bones was really not easy to mess with. But he also knew that if the vicious corpse chi was attacking at this time, the calm corpse chi that had just poured into his body would also erupt, and the fate of that time could be imagined, so Xiao Yang also gritted his teeth. 2 steps. Following Xiao Yang's loud shout, the eternal fire eternal ruler in his hand also burst into 23 brilliant and colorful colors. Attack away. Boom boom boom. The terrifying flames were mixed with the same imposing aura just now and the fierce corpse aura collided together. This time, even if it is the first stage of the immortal rank fighting skills, 1 or 2 steps of the 3-step swimming ruler can't help this fierce corpse energy. There were sparks all over the sky and the aftermath of the battle, and there was a slight vibration in the space around you. The frozen throne. Su Xueying snorted softly, and then all the flames poured out from her body. Xiao Yang, whose eyes were extremely sharp, also found that when Su Xueying performed this move, her whole body was wilted to the extreme. Good. It turned out to be the power of the source of holy flame. The Golden Dragon King also laughed at this moment. The so-called source power of holy flame is an attack or defense method possessed by holy flame itself. This kind of thing can only be used after acquiring holy flame, after mastering holy flame and continuing to explore. I can't think of this little girl. The Golden Dragon King did not hide his surprise at all. Xiao Yang also heard that such a strong man as his master, the Golden Dragon King, praised him so much. He couldn't help but have a deep fiery in his eyes, and then he murmured to himself, is the power of the source of holy flame? The power of cyan flame radiated from Su Xueying's jade feet under the green lotus, forming a mysterious triangular rune, saying its late is quicker. Just when Xiao Yang's attacking flames were about to be defeated like a deflated balloon immediately. The cyan flame is mixed with a mysterious triangular rune, and there is another force in the rune, which is directed towards the fierce corpse aura in the air, while the mysterious triangular rune is straight towards the skeleton. Bang bang bang. The original aggressive corpse energy found something wrong when it encountered the cyan flame. The current power of the cyan flame and the power of the flame just now are obviously not at the same level, just like a small flame encountering a huge water source. The corpse gas fled wildly in an instant. Sacred flame is holy flame after all. How could it be tolerated that this ferocious corpse aura escaped and caused other troubles? The cyan flame exploded instantly under Su Xueying's soft drink, and then under Xiao Yang's surprised eyes. The vicious corpse aura that was dominating the air in midair was actually completely frozen by the blue flames. On the other hand, the skeleton, since the ribs were attacked by Xiao Yang, lost their color, healed instantly and exuded a huge murderous corpse aura. they were half motionless due to numbness. The cyan flame slowly surrounded the skeleton along with a mysterious triangular rune, and then wanted to freeze it in an instant. The power of the hot flame contains terrifying energy. Although the skeletons fought hard, they could not resist the power of the holy flame. In a place where the icy cold instantly covered the skeleton also dimmed at this moment. Su Shuiying also had beads of sweat on her beautiful eyes, and then raised her weak eyes to look at the skeleton. I saw a few drops of blood-red blood slowly swimming on the chest of the frozen skeleton. Although Xiao Yan knew from the mouth of his master, the Golden Dragon King, that Su Shuiying had just used the power of the source of holy flame, he was really shocked. As we all know, the different fire is the power born in this world. Even the first 3 flames on the Dochi continents list of different fires do not have such a terrifying source power. The terrifying source power of this blue holy flame, frozen the throne, is really strong and outrageous. Even in the deepest part of the ruins, there is a terrifying prohibition in the Emperor's stone chamber that suppresses the strength of the 4-star Do Emperor, and the blue flames are overwhelming, and then the fierce corpse gas and skeletons in the air are instantly frozen under the extremely hot temperature. Sealed up. Even the skeleton of a man as strong as an emperor can be frozen. Xiao Yang couldn't help his scalp tingling as he looked at this appearance. Even if the fierce corpse aura emanating from the bones of the emperor did not reach the strength of a 7-star fighting emperor, it would not be too inferior. Xiao Yang had expected that the holy flame was definitely not simple, but he did not expect that the origin of this holy flame would be the power can even freeze the vicious corpse aura. You must know that the vicious corpse chi was originally invisible and colorless, but due to too much corpse chi, it was entrenched in the air to form a radiating energy light group, and the energy light group was comparable to the 5-star Do Emperor powerhouse. Holy flame can even freeze this corpse energy. The power of holy flame is well deserved. I just don't know if there is any difference between my strange fire and holy flame. What is the same thing? Xiao Yang also muttered to himself. Although he had many doubts in his heart, he was quite concerned about his own strange fire. She is confident, but it is impossible to directly talk to Su Shuiying about this kind of question, otherwise she will be treated like a fool. When the terrifying blue flames attacked, Xiao Yang also felt that the space around him was filled with scorching heat. The originally ferocious corpse aura was instantly frozen in midair, and a long ice-like ice block appeared out of thin air in midair, and then the skeleton was also frozen tightly. Under the terrifying high temperature, I feel the cold that goes deep into my bones. Even the vindictive energy all over his body was condensed into an ice fog. Fortunately, Xiao Yang's timely operation was because he was covered in vindictive energy so that the blue flames would not invade the ice fog. This is what a real holy flame should look like. But if this little girl wins, the frozen area will be even stronger. While Xiao Yang was amazed, the voice of the Golden Dragon King suddenly rang in the ring. I heard from the master that there is something unsolved by the master here, and there is also a holy flame. Hearing the words of his master, the Golden Dragon King, Xiao Yang also looked forward to the holy flame. As the power of the holy flame erupted in Su Shuiying's body to relieve the crisis, a feeling of weakness immediately emerged from the body, and the originally bright red face was also slightly pale. She was using a huge amount of strength to suppress her strength, and the Qinglian under her feet burst into a dazzling light at this moment, as if she was restoring the fighting spirit in Su Shuiying's body. Sensing the changes in her body, Su Shuiying finally had some moving expressions in her clear mu. Success, Su Shuiying said weakly to Xiao Yang. Because she also knew that although her holy flame's source of freezing power was strong, she would not have succeeded without Xiao Yang's feint. Now her strength has been suppressed too much since she entered the ruins. The strength of the peak of the Samsung Dodi is not enough to display the real power of the source of holy flame. Now this may only be regarded as the power of false holy flame, but these it also puts a lot of load on your body. Are you alright? Xiao Yang also looked at Su Shuiying with a pale face, and couldn't help but asked, and then the ring on his hand flashed, and several high-level medicinal pills flew towards Su Shuiying out of thin air. Su Shuiying was not hypocritical. She opened her mouth after taking the medicine pill, and swallowed it instantly. Just after swallowing the medicinal pill, a stream of extremely gentle energy was decomposed from the medicinal pill and spread out throughout the body to nourish the slightly weak body. With her eyes, she could see at a glance that this pill is not low-level, and it is now in the deepest part of the ruins. There are inevitably some unknown mysteries, and restoring strength is the most important thing. Oh! There are such treasures that can both attack and defend. It seems that this little girl's background is not weak. Seeing Qinglian slowly exuding an extremely pure force nourishing Su Shuiying, entrenched in Xiao Yang, the Golden Dragon King in the ring, was also a little surprised, and immediately smiled. His fingers swung a little into the air, and a brilliant beam of light directly wrapped Xiao Yang. The beam of light wrapped Xiao Yang, and Xiao Yang only felt that a strong force was repairing the exhausted fighting spirit in his body. Although the immediate crisis was temporarily lifted, no one could guarantee that the Emperor would have any tricks. Is also careful to make the Wanyan ship immediately. The azure flames from the azure lotus that Su Shuiying was treading on her feet madly moved towards her body, and azure rays of light appeared on her body. As the fighting chi recovered a little, the light beams wrapped around Xiao Yang's body also dissipated. In the end, even the dead 7-star Do Emperor peak powerhouse showed up. Grab the things and leave quickly, it's better not to stay in this ghost place for a long time. Su Shuiying's exhausted grudge was almost recovered. Seeing Xiao Yang's actions, she also followed Qinglian. The two ignored the ferocious corpse aura that had long been frozen into ice cubes, and then walked straight from the stone entrance to the place where the skeleton was located. Just as he approached skeleton Zhongshu, Xiao Yang felt a piercing cold, and then Xiao Yang instantly summoned a strange fire to cover his body to resist the remaining frozen power of the holy flame. 10 steps. 3 steps. Step 2. 1 step. Xiao Yang's pupils shrank tightly when he looked at the frozen skeleton from a close distance. The original jade-white skeleton appeared even more crystal silver and antimony after being frozen, and the blood-red blood mist emitted by the blood essence around the skeleton was actually frozen. Be careful, there will inevitably be problems. Xiao Yang suddenly turned his head and greeted Su Shuiying. After all, the ruins of the Emperor did not play cards according to the routine, so he had to be careful. I'll give you the blood and take it out. I'll help you around, but be careful, the power of the source of the holy flame is no trivial matter. Su Shuiying also spoke slowly, apparently using the power of the source of the holy flame is still there. Somewhat exhausted. Xiao Yang was also a little surprised when he heard this. Originally, this woman was very defensive about her, but now she is like this. But Xiao Yang also knew that this was not the time to think about this issue, and immediately looked at the few drops of blood on the chest of the frozen skeleton. Let's see where you're going now. Xiao Yang looked at the skeleton that was frozen inside and outside, and the drop of blood on his chest was slowly beating, which seemed to have life. The power of the source is still beating vividly under the ice. Although the power of the holy flame has been suppressed a lot, it is also the real power of the holy flame, but this really shows the power of the blood of the Emperor. Xiao Yang was also shocked and said, this drop of blood essence was condensed by the lifelong essence of a 7-star Do Emperor peak powerhouse, and the terrifying power emanating from this blood essence alone is enough to show that the powerhouse of this powerhouse is sky high. But it's strange. When I saw this skeleton for the first time, it seemed that there were several drops of blood essence. Why is there only 1 drop now? Xiao Yang looked at the skeleton with his eyes, and just about to reach out to take the blood essence from his chest, he felt a trace of extremely hot temperature from the ice cube. Seeing this appearance, Xiao Yang's fingers that had stretched out his hand were also instantly withdrawn, and then the milky white flames covered his hands, and he roared away at Du's chest with lightning speed. Bang bang bang! When Xiao Yang just touched the blood fog ice cubes on the outermost layer of the frozen skeleton, he felt a death-like smell from the blood fog through the power of ice sealing. The strength, I felt the extremely hot temperature from the blood fog ice cubes, and the milky white flame in my hand seemed to be a little afraid, and then I increased the strength of the flame and continued to move forward. Xiao Yang also didn't care about the terrifying temperature. He forcibly broke through the outermost layer of blood fog ice cubes, and then went straight towards the drop of blood on his chest. Bang bang bang! When Xiao Yang's milky white hands touched the layer of frozen power inside, a chill came from his heart, and then Xiao Yang's fingers suddenly turned into ice cube. Damn it! You actually ignored my strange fire. Xiao Yang was also greatly surprised. Although Su Shuiying's holy flame was ranked 23rd, the power of flame in her body was also a fusion of 2. The new flames of the 13 kinds of different fires are not as powerful as the former, and it is impossible for them to be so different. Xiao Yang's palm wrapped by the milky white flame also slowly turned into a block of ice at this moment. The strange thing was that the milky white flame was not extinguished, it was still beating. Go! Su Shuiying also looked at Xiao Yang with her beautiful eyes, and then she drank lightly, and immediately the green lotus that her jade feet stepped on turned into a ball of light that hit Xiao Yang directly. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that my holy flame's frozen power will be attacked by everyone except me. Su Shuiying also said gently with a hint of apology. When the light group on Su Shuiying's body slowly appeared on Xiao Yang's palm, which was frozen into ice cubes, Xiao Yang also felt that the icy cold on his palm disappeared instantly, and he couldn't help frowning, and then he couldn't care about the power of holy flame. Go straight to grab the blood essence at the skeleton's chest. Boom. Xiao Yang also shrank his pupils tightly, then looked at Su Shuiying in surprise. How is that possible? The purpose of Xiao Yang's just wrapped the milky white flame on his palm was to isolate the power of the holy flame, and then grabbed the blood essence from the skeleton's chest, but the strange thing was, Xiao Yang's palm actually pierced through his blood essence. Su Shuiying's eyes moved slightly, apparently thinking about something. Master, this? Xiao Yang was also full of disbelief, but he didn't panic, and hurriedly asked his master Jinlong King for help. You kid, you can't eat hot tofu in a hurry. If the blood of the emperor is so easy to get, what is the blood of the emperor? This is the blood of the 7-star fighting Emperor Peak. The Golden Dragon King also looked at the one. Xiao Yang with a dazed face couldn't help laughing. The blood essence condensed by the peak powerhouses of the 7-star Do Emperor already has the same high level of intelligence as the medicine pill. Did you see a few drops of blood essence when it was just fused with a part of it and then on top of the skeleton? Yes. Hearing his master say this, Xiao Yang couldn't help but recall that he seemed to have seen several drops of blood essence on the skeleton's chest just now. Why is there only one drop now? That's the trick it set up to protect itself. Don't worry, I see that there seems to be something on this little girl who really needs this drop of blood. The Golden Dragon King also took a careful look at Su Shuiying and said. Hearing what his master said, Xiao Yang couldn't help but stare at the drop of blood essence on the skeleton's chest. The blood-red blood was slowly swimming in the empty chest of the skeleton. Xiao Yang also did not believe in evil and grabbed the essence and blood, but his palm went straight through the essence and blood. I'll try. Su Shuiying stepped forward slowly with her jade feet on Qinglian, and then raised her slender jade hand to grab the blood essence at the skeleton's chest. Boom boom boom. What Xiao Yang imagined to penetrate the past was not discovered, but a strange scene appeared. When the blood-red blood essence hit Su Shuiying's jade hand, it jumped violently, and then calmed down and slowly lay flat on her hand. It seems that we are really destined. Su Shuiying looked at a drop of blood-red blood essence on her palm and couldn't help smiling, showing a smile that was enough to charm all beings. The same resonance. Master, this? Xiao Yang also frowned, looking at Su Shuiying's attitude. This drop of blood is definitely going to cause a conflict. Is it still going to be a fight in the end? Little Yenzi, I will give this drop of blood to this little girl. In my opinion, I have a good relationship with this little girl now, and you can go back and get some of the original after you are strong enough. The things that belong to you will be much easier for you with her help. After speaking, the Golden Dragon King kept silent, as if he was afraid of leaking. Xiao Yang also understands that his master, the Golden Dragon King, is for his own good. If there are some mysteries, it is better not to know if he does not have enough strength, otherwise it will lead to the disaster of killing. It doesn't matter. Xiao Yang also struggled violently, and now he and Su Shuiying are indifferent, because if they fight now, he may not necessarily be Su Shuiying's opponent, not to mention Xiao Yang has also seen the power of Shungyang's source. The Emperor's blood essence contains the strength of this senior's life. If he can absorb it this time, his strength will surely increase a lot. Xiao Yang still thought to himself. Xiao Yang's heart moved, and he looked at the drop of blood-red blood that appeared in Su Shuiying's palm. As soon as this drop of blood appeared, the energy of the surrounding heaven and earth violently rioted. Xiao Yang could clearly feel that Su Shuiying was the leader. In the center, the space in this stone room is 100 feet in radius, and it seems that all the energy has escaped far away. As expected of the blood of the emperor, he is actually domineering to such a degree. Feeling this scene, Xiao Yang couldn't help but smile. This was the first time he had seen such domineering energy. Even the energy of heaven and earth was driven away. Although it's a bit presumptuous, I must get the blood of the emperor. Su Shuiying was also trying to regain a tough attitude, and then looked at Xiao Yang's aching face and said, but as a price, I can make a promise with you. About the Xiao clan's covenant you want to know. This video will end here.